Gefesca ma Zoey. Camera hashif.
Aguma camera hashiv hen.
Oh, gleba and you. Yes, and I suppose we better switch back to English now for those that don't know Gaelic. It's a bit weird, isn't it? It's one of the things that make Avoch Sea Scouts what they are, Gasoga Mara Avoch, what they are, the only Scottish Gaelic speaking scout group in the world. I'll see if I can find a clip of colours in Gaelic that we might throw into the video.
Gianna Jashel.
Gleva.
Dahan.
Gleva. Gian A. I'll take. Coidiv Roiv. Sheziv Eggthoth.
I'm Zoe. I've been in Avoch Sea Scouts for probably about 10 years now. And yeah, I'm joining the Navy to be a weapons engineer.
What prompted you to think about joining the Royal Navy?
A few things, partly because I didn't want to leave kind of the scouting atmosphere. I like being around loads of people, so the Navy offers that. And boats, another thing from Scouts. So yeah.
It's been quite a while waiting to get your start date for the Navy, and really weird that in the midst of this lockdown that you've waited long and then all of a sudden it's happening. And even in the lockdown, they're looking for you to start. So tell us a bit about the journey towards getting into the Navy.
Well, it's taken a long time. I originally applied back in February last year, and since then it was constant things like the interviews, the tests, and then medical tests, fitness and all that. But the medical took an extra 3 months because they thought there was something wrong with me, even though there wasn't. So that made it take longer. Then after that, it was just constant fitness, and each of these things was months apart. I'm going down to Plymouth and Torpoint, which is HMS Raleigh, the basic training centre for recruits. And well, the way they're doing it is they want us to social isolate, well, and all that for 2 weeks before we leave home. But then when we get there as well, they want us to be in a separate division for 2 weeks before we join our main place.
How long is it going to take to get there, and how are you going to get there?
I'm getting trains because no flights at the moment, but it's going to take roughly 15 hours to get there.
What attracted you to Sea Scouts in the first place?
Well, my sister had a friend in Sea Scouts, so when I was about 9, me and my sister both went along just to try it out, and we loved it, so we stayed ever since.
What would you say was your greatest adventure in Sea Scouts?
Probably learning how to powerboat was probably the best thing I've ever done. Because that's one of those things that I'm never going to forget how to do. Yeah, I went from being scared of boats to loving them and being overconfident on them because of Scouts.
So powerboating was the first kind of attraction, but you're also a pretty good sailor as well.
Yes, I sailed before I joined Scouts with my dad, but that just got better through Scouts.
Yeah, what's your favourite sailing dinghy?
Topaz by far.
Yeah.
I had a topper for a few years for racing, but Topaz was obviously the best.
Where have you gone with Sea Scouts?
Probably the best big event I've done is the Blair Athol Jamboree.
Oh yes, I think we've got a photo of that somewhere, yeah.
Yeah, that was brilliant. One of the best things I've ever done.
So the Blair Athol Jamboree, for those who aren't from Scotland, can you describe that? It's quite a unique jamboree.
It's the biggest international scout camp that's in Scotland, and it's got scouts from all around the world that all join up in Blair Athol, to do numerous activities and stuff all as a group, and you get to meet everyone. And it turns into its own little village, really, just in a field in the middle of nowhere. It's brilliant.
What nationality was your patrol teamed up with?
We were joined up with Germany, but we were next to Americans as well.
Did you ever go to Loch Goilhead?
I did, yes. We got to go to Baz Lane, which was good.
So were you the watch that had the 60-mile diversion to get back to Loch Goilhead due to a landslide?
Yep, that was us.
Thinking about, wanting to go into the Royal Navy, and you were quite clear that you wanted to become a weapons engineer, is that correct?
Yeah.
What prompted you to that particular branch?
Well, I wanted to go into engineering, and I thought weapons engineering would be really interesting because it covers the radars and sonars as well, and it's more or less guaranteed to be on one of the warships going on into that area, which is the boats I want to go on anyway, or ships. I'll get in trouble for saying boats.
Where would you like to visit?
I would really like to visit Japan, and I know that they've been in Japan a few times, so I think that would be cool. But also going back to Oman would be awesome, because I know they work quite close in hand with the Omani Navy. And I think that would be quite cool since I was born in Oman because my dad was stationed there. So that would be quite cool.
You've been lucky not just to be a scout, not just a Sea Scout, but a Royal Navy recognised Sea Scout. What do you think that's brought to it in terms of, developing your thoughts for a career?
Well, given that it was Royal Navy Sea Scouts, it meant there was more discipline in it than regular scout groups. So I think that brought more organisation to the group as a whole, and it was quite a nice thing, especially how like all the watches work, and yeah, a lot of teamwork was involved, and it was brilliant.
What advice would you have to Sea Scouts of today?
I just advise that they should always have fun, no matter what they're doing in Scouts, in life in general. Just make sure you're having fun. If not, you're not doing it right.
I think the Chief Scout, Bear Grylls, talks about fun and friendship being so important. Zoe, you've met a number of inspecting officers from the Royal Navy coming to the Scout group over the years. Is there any that particularly stick out with you?
Well, last time we had an inspection, it was Lieutenant Commander Ollie Lochner, and I remember talking to him, and it was brilliant because he was telling me how good life in the Navy was, and he encouraged me to go ahead and join. And I think that definitely assured me that it was a good idea joining up like I did. And I remember him telling me that I was a good sailor because that day it was quite stormy. And I remember being chuffed, and to this day I've told so many people, yeah, a guy in the Navy told me I was a good sailor. Oh yeah.
How long is your initial training for?
That's going to be 10 weeks. So I start on Monday, and hopefully I'll be passed out by the 17th of July.
Well, here's hoping that lockdown is lifted so that your parents can get all the way down to Plymouth to see you passing out with a bit of luck.
Yeah, hopefully. Doesn't look promising though.
What do the first few weeks look like?
Well, the first week is getting settled in. You've got 1 or 2 fitness tests just to make sure you are at the standards. And the second week's again, just getting used to it. And then week 3, you start doing weapons handling and all that, which I'm looking forward to because I think that would be different since I've not done anything like that before. But I know week 5 is the week that most Sea Scouts would like, because week 5 is when you get to go down to Juniper Point and play with powerboats. So
Excellent.
You're more comfortable that week, and you get to do all your seamanship skills and all that, so that'll be awesome.
Great stuff. Zoe, I hope you do really well in the Navy and you manage to get through the 10 weeks and come out the other end and get a great career out of it. Best of luck for the future.
Well, thank you so much.
Good
really
luck.
Appreciate it. I will miss you all as well, but I'm not really leaving. I'll be back.